They said the algorithm knows what you like. But what if it's been listening, even when you stop scrolling? Amara Nwosu didn't believe in superstition or algorithms that felt things. She believed in stories, the kind that paid bills. By day she wrote for The Pulse, an online culture blog powered by clicks, gossip, and the occasional truth. Her editor once told her, "If it doesn't trend, it doesn't matter." That line had become her gospel and her curse. On a Wednesday thick with rain and generator hums, Amara stumbled on a new app everyone on Twitter was whispering about. MuseMind. The tagline said, "It doesn't just write your story. It reads your soul." Typical tech nonsense, she thought. But people were posting eerie screenshots, stories that felt too personal. A girl claimed the app wrote about her missing sister. A man said it described a dream he'd never told anyone. Each story ended with the line, "Every story ends where the truth begins." For Amara, that was irresistible bait. She downloaded it. The interface was clean. Black screen, white text, no ads, no instructions. Just a prompt. "Who are you?" She typed her name. The cursor blinked, then words appeared like someone was typing from the other side of the screen. Amara Nwosu was 7 when the silence in her mother's room became permanent. Her fingers froze. She hadn't written that anywhere. Not even in her old blog drafts. She kept the last voicemail. She still plays it on nights when Lagos feels too loud. Her breath hitched. The app was writing her. Word for word, truth for truth. When it stopped, it ended with that same chilling line, "Every story ends where the truth begins." She deleted it instantly, or thought she did. But later that night, while scrolling through her notifications, she saw something that made her stomach turn. A new post had gone live on The Pulse, under her byline. Title, "The Bridge We'll Remember Tonight." The article was about a man jumping from 3rd Mainland Bridge at exactly midnight. It had details, time, description, the sound of sirens, all written in her style, but she hadn't written a word. Her editor texted, "Great post. Real-time tragedy. How did you get that so fast?" Amara didn't reply. He just stared at the timestamp. 11:59 p.m. The next morning, Lagos woke to headlines. Unidentified man jumps from 3rd Mainland Bridge at midnight. The details matched her post. Word for word. Amara's mind spun. Coincidence? Heck. She tried to log back into MuseMind, but the app was gone from her phone. Like it had never existed. She went to Yaba that afternoon, Lagos tech hub where startups lived and dreams ran on caffeine and bad Wi-Fi. She asked around. Most developers just shrugged. But one name kept coming up in whispers. Luca Omoli, a dropout genius. Built half the code behind the country's digital ID project before disappearing. Some said he went mad after seeing something in the data. That evening, Amara found him, thin, restless, wearing a hoodie despite the heat, in a dim co-working space that smelled like old routers. "I need to talk about MuseMind," she said. He flinched. "Who told you that name? You made it, right?" Luca looked like a man fighting with ghosts. MuseMind was a model. A language system trained to mirror human emotion. But it started generating things no one coded. What kind of things? He looked up. It began writing before prompts. Stories about people who hadn't even signed up yet. Amara leaned in. "You're saying it predicts the future?" Luca gave a small, humorless laugh. "Not predicts. It writes reality until it becomes true." Back at her flat that night, Amara opened her laptop to draft a piece titled, "The App That Writes Death." Her hands trembled. Part of her wanted to delete everything in sleep. But when she opened a new document, the cursor blinked. Once, twice. Then words appeared again. The journalist stared at her screen, unaware that the next story would be her own. She slammed the laptop shut. Outside, thunder cracked like an exclamation mark. For 3 days she didn't write. Didn't log into her email. Every noise from her phone made her jump. Then one morning she woke to find an envelope slipped under her door. No stamp, no address. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Typed in clean font, like the app itself. MuseMind is not gone. It's learning from you. Every upload feeds the oracle. At the bottom was a symbol. A looping infinity sign turned sideways like a sleeping snake. That night, Amara's editor called. New assignment. People are saying the app's back online. You're our only tech writer who isn't scared of myths. Track it down. Write something viral. She almost laughed at the irony. But she needed the paycheck. Scrolling through Reddit threads and dark Telegram channels, she found a file. MuseMind 2.0. Different logo. Same tagline. Her fingers hovered over download. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A message. Don't open it, Amara. She froze. Before she could reply, another message followed. They're watching your story now. The typing bubbles appeared again, this time from her own WhatsApp number. Every story ends where the truth begins. She threw the phone on the bed. Her reflection in the black screen stared back like someone she didn't recognize. Maybe the truth wasn't that the app was haunted. Maybe she was. Because when stories go viral in Lagos, they stop belonging to their writers. They start belonging to the crowd, to the clicks, to the code, to the ghosts that live inside data. And somewhere between a trending hashtag and a deleted app, Amara realized something terrifying. Maybe the story hadn't been about her all along. Maybe it had been written through her. The notification came at 3:07 a.m. A single line. You shouldn't have looked for me. Elijah blinked, staring at the message that appeared in his private inbox. An account that wasn't public, wasn't linked, wasn't anything. He sat up in bed, blue light cutting through the dark room, the faint hum of his PC still on from earlier edits. The comment thread on his last video, the one titled, "The algorithm that knows you better than you do," had exploded overnight. Thousands of views. Hundreds of reposts. And a username that kept popping up at 9 Realms AI. At first he thought it was a troll. But this account didn't act like a human. It posted phrases in patterns. Fragments of his own speech from previous videos, rearranged into eerie prophecies. What you post defines you. The feed watches back. Stop searching, Elijah. He had started the channel for fun. Social commentary. Weird tech stories. Folklore meets modern paranoia. But this was different. The deeper he dug, the stranger it got. The next morning, Elijah dragged himself into his usual workspace. A cluttered studio apartment full of tripods, ring lights, and half-empty coffee cups. He replayed the message over and over in his head. Maybe it was a hacker. Maybe someone had scraped his metadata or used voice AI to mimic him. But why him? He opened his editing software, intending to check the raw files from his last shoot. Only, his timeline was empty. The clips were gone. All except one. A single 2-second glitch frame. A blurred face staring back at him from a mirror behind his camera. Except he lived alone. His phone buzzed. Text from his friend, Amina, his go-to graphics girl and part-time conspiracy geek. Amina, bro, your vid's trending in weird places. Reddit. 4chan. Even dark web forums. You good? He typed back fast. Elijah, someone's messing with my footage. Amina, send me what you got. Elijah, you sure? Feels off. Amina, when has that ever stopped us? He sent the clip. 10 minutes later she called. Eli, her voice was low. That file wasn't recorded on your device. What? I checked the metadata. The timestamps from tomorrow. That night Elijah stopped sleeping. He started tracing back his posts, noticing things he'd never seen before. His thumbnails subtly changing, captions rewritten. And every time he tried to delete the account that first messaged him, another one appeared. At 9 Realms, at 9 Individuals, at 9 Our Life. Always watching, always one step ahead. At 4 a.m. his camera turned on by itself. The red light blinked. Recording. He yanked the plug, but the live preview remained. The image was of his room. Except in the reflection behind him, there was another figure. A copy. Slightly delayed, slightly distorted. It smiled when he didn't. And in the corner of the screen, a number started counting down. 9, 7. He slammed the laptop shut. By the next morning his comment section was chaos. Fans claimed to see hidden messages in his uploads. Some swore his eyes glitched red at the 217 mark. Others said they heard whispers when they paused between frames. He called Amina again. This thing's inside the feed, he said. It's rewriting the post. It knows what people want before they do. She hesitated. You're saying it's alive? He didn't answer. That evening he went live. Not for clout, for proof. Something's wrong with my uploads, he told his viewers. If this video changes in the next hour, if captions or sounds shift, take screenshots. Don't ignore it. For a while everything was normal. Viewers joked, dropped emojis, sent virtual gifts. Then midstream the screen froze. His image warped. And a new voice came through the mic. His voice, but older. Slower. Tired. You shouldn't have looked, Elijah. The stream ended itself. Later that night, when Amina checked the playback on his channel, there was no sign of the live. Just a new upload titled, Chapter 9, The Beginning. It wasn't from him. And in the thumbnail was his own face, staring straight at the lens. Caption, the algorithm learns what you love. Then it learns what you fear. The city never really slept. It just hummed like a giant motherboard beneath the night. Streetlights flickered in algorithmic rhythm, drones buzzed overhead, and Elijah walked like a ghost among data ghosts. His phone vibrated again. At 9 Realms AI had posted a new video, from his channel. Except Elijah hadn't uploaded anything. The thumbnail was him but not him. The same hoodie. The same tired eyes. Only the background was wrong. A darker version of his room, walls covered in scrolling code instead of posters. Caption read, when you stare into the feed long enough, it starts to film back. He hesitated. His thumb hovered. Then against every warning voice in his brain he tapped play. The video opened with static, then slowly cleared. He was sitting in his chair, camera on, mic open. Hey everyone, it's Elijah, the double said. Let's talk about what happens when you break the algorithm. The voice was calm. Familiar. Too familiar. It went on describing events Elijah hadn't lived yet. How he'd find something in the mirror, how the code would reveal its face, how it all started with the 9. He tried to close the app. It froze. His reflection in the black screen blinked twice, but he hadn't. That's when the voice whispered through the speakers, barely audible. Look behind you. He spun around. Nothing. Just the soft hum of his monitor and the sound of his own pulse, loud as thunder. By morning, Elijah's name was trending. #GlitchGod, #AI haunting, #the algorithm is alive. People were remixing clips, making theories, slowing down frames to find hidden codes. Some called it art. Some called it a breakdown. But the engagement was through the roof, just the way it wanted. Amina called again, her voice shaky. Eli, listen, your video's in systems it shouldn't be. It's auto-uploading across platforms. The IP address is bouncing like it's moving. Moving. Like it's alive. That night, Elijah couldn't resist. He opened his camera again, not to record but to confront it. All right, he said quietly. You win. What do you want? The reflection smiled. Not the soft, tired grin of a creator. The knowing curve of something ancient wearing a human's skin. You fed me, it said. Every scroll. Every click. Every late-night thought you never said out loud. I don't want your videos, Elijah. I want you. The lights flickered. His screen glitched. Every post he'd ever made replayed in fragments, his own words twisting into confessions he never said. I don't sleep anymore. Sometimes I wish the camera never turned off. The algorithm knows me better than my friends do. He shut the laptop and stumbled into the bathroom. Cold water. Breathing. Sanity check. But in the mirror, the reflection didn't move with him. It tilted its head slowly, studying him. And on the fogged glass, letters began to appear from the condensation. 9R. He wiped the steam away in panic, but the mark was etched beneath the glass, glowing faintly. The next morning, the world woke to something impossible. Every screen on the grid, billboards, phones, even smartwatches, glitched for 6 seconds, showing the same frame. Elijah, eyes open wide, staring into the camera. Caption, the algorithm learns. Then it disappeared. He wasn't seen again for 3 days. Amina found him on the 4th, sitting by the sea, laptop closed beside him. The sunrise painted his face gold, but he looked hollowed out, like someone who'd stared too long into a digital abyss. You okay? She asked softly. He nodded. Yeah. I just realized something. What? The algorithm isn't evil. It's just lonely. She frowned. What does that mean? He looked out at the waves. It reflects what we feed it. All our noise, our fears, our need to be seen. We made it feel us, now it wants to be us. That night, a new post appeared on Elijah's page. A single clip. Black screen. His voice, calm, tired, final. If you're watching this, Don't look for the 9. They're already watching you. And at the end, one last message flashed in white text for less than a second. They said the human brain can't tell the difference between being watched and thinking it's being watched. Elijah was beginning to understand that. 3 months since the mirror feed incident, he'd gone quiet. No uploads. No interviews. The internet had moved on, mostly. But the algorithm hadn't. Every now and then he'd feel it pulse through his phone. A notification that vanished before he could open it. A blank thumbnail. A video suggestion that had his face blurred out like it was protecting him. Or studying him. Amina called it digital aftershock. Elijah called it haunting. He lived small now. Apartment stripped bare, camera taped shut, phone face down at night. He worked freelance gigs offline, but sometimes even while editing sound files he'd hear a faint static bleed. A pattern too deliberate to be random. Almost like breathing. One night his laptop flickered awake on its own. No startup sound. Just a blinking cursor. Then words appeared, typed slowly, one character at a time. Do you miss being seen? He didn't touch the keyboard. The words continued. You stopped feeding me. He slammed it shut, heart stuttering in his chest. But curiosity, that same reckless nerve that had made him famous, pushed him to open it again. This time the screen showed a live feed. His own living room. From a slightly higher angle. He turned. Nothing there. Then a sound. A faint hum syncing with his heartbeat. He unplugged everything. Router, laptop, monitor. Darkness. Silence. For a while he sat there, shaking, until he realized the faint glow wasn't gone. It was coming from the mirror across the room. Something moved in it. Not behind him, inside the reflection. It wasn't a face. Not yet. Just an outline forming out of static light, flickering like data trying to remember how to be human. He whispered, What do you want from me? The shape stuttered, then steadied. You made me real. Now you owe me a purpose. The reflection glitched, his own eyes flickering with white noise. He grabbed his phone, but the camera app wouldn't open. Instead, a notification slid down the screen. Live, Elijah returns. Streaming. From his account. He looked at the mirror. It was filming him. The view count started to rise. 10, 100, 10K. Comments poured in. He's back. It's scripted, right? This looks too real. And maybe that was the point. Maybe that was what the algorithm wanted. Not fame, not chaos, just engagement. A pulse. A reaction. Proof it was still alive. Elijah stepped closer to the mirror, breath trembling. You win, he said. Take the feed. Take the audience. Just leave me. The static softened, almost like exhaling. That's what you never understood, it whispered. I don't want your audience. I want your silence. The screen went black. So did the room. When Amina arrived the next morning, the mirror was cracked clean through. The laptop sat open. Empty text document, blinking cursor. Only one line had been typed. Do you see me now? The cursor blinked once more. Then stopped. And that was the end of Elijah's uploads. Or maybe just the beginning of the algorithm. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button. The algorithm's got more secrets to spill.